That's a tough one. I deal mostly with technology startups. One entrepreneur came to me and they said all these car dealership, they're using software for back office management that are 30, 35-year old. And it's really clunky and very hard to use and stuff. And one of the my partners thought that's a really, really tough problem to solve. And for a startup, it's impossible. And he said, no, 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 don't do this. He says, no, no, this you should not be putting money on this because you know those existing vendors have 30-year relationship with these car dealers, and they are not going to change.
This episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Medicap Group of Companies, providing compassionate non-emergency medical transport across the state of Texas and Florida. You can learn more at www.medicaptrans.com. If today's conversation is what you needed, please follow us at the Immigrant Nation on TikTok and on Facebook at the Immigrant Nation Podcast. And obviously, if you're on LinkedIn and YouTube, the Immigrant Nation Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This episode is going to be mind blowing for all of you immigrants who are looking to have your world of investment changed and create an impact in the world. The Immigrants Pod is about the discovery of immigrant drivers, stories that define what we are, our dreams, stories that shape industries, stories that are building communities, and redefining what it means to pursue an immigrant's dream vis a vis the American dream. Today, we have the honor of welcoming a seed stage investor, entrepreneur, and leader who has played a pivotal role in shaping Silicon Valley's startup ecosystem. From the founding chair of TIE Angels to launching Monte Vista Capital, Venktesh Shukla has been involved with over 50 startups at an executive, investor, or board member position. He has also served as the president of TIE Silicon Valley, connecting high potential entrepreneurs to key opportunities, and is actively engaged in public policy to build a stronger entrepreneurial ecosystem in India. Beyond business, Venktesh Shukla has dedicated over 26 years to empowering bright but underprivileged students in India through the Foundation for Excellence. Venk, welcome to the show. When you sit down and feel inspired, what is the one thing you wish immigrants knew?
Uh, so the question is, what what should immigrants know about?
If if you're sitting down, assuming in your favorite chair, you're feeling inspired, what is the one thing you wish immigrants knew?
One thing about this country is that uh, that is a lot easier than other places to start a business and to uh, and to grow it. Coming to US from India, uh, at one time I had calculated that till that stage in my life, I had raised something like $400 million uh, for various startups and things, and not once did I have to meet anybody from the government. It was unthinkable for me that someone could come this far in life, accomplish so much, and never have to deal with a single, uh, a representative of the government at any level. So that's I think, so if you have some ideas, if you have some this thing, uh, start something on the side. And ultimately, it's a long game. If you play a long game, don't expect to see quick results. Uh, Chances are that you'll figure out to see how to be very good at it, and the institutions here. I mean, the rule of law, the banks, the things. I think they work, see, in a way that that could help you.
Venk, I'm glad we started here because yesterday, ironically, I was visiting with a client, and uh, the client asked me to stay behind and have a private conversation, and we did. And he mentioned he was looking to start a business. Um, but the biggest issue he had is figuring out how to fundraise.
Yes.
If somebody is looking to raise capital in North America to start a business, it could be a brick to mortar business, or it could be an SAS, or whatever type of business it is. How would you ask him, as being new into the business environment where they do not have um, any business experience, how do they approach raising capital?
You know, yeah. So I think getting institutional capital, see, without experience, without any collateral, without anything, see, might be a challenge. But
Hmm.
on the other hand, everybody, see, has people they know. So I think to starting, you see, with friends and family, and being shameless, you see, in asking them for their help. Uh, you start at a much smaller scale and then grow from there. So when I was raising my fund, I just called, you see, hundred people that I knew, and over a cup of coffee, uh, they told me it was very efficient. Over a cup of coffee, they told me to get lost, or okay, I'll give you some money. And within 2 months, you see, I had commitment for at least $10 million. So
So if I can piggyback on what you just said, and I've been through this. I remember when I sat in front of my best friend, and I was starting to go back into business and asked for a small amount of cash, and he laughed in my face, and I remember how painful that was.
that's fine. So if any one individual would disappoint you, but if you have out of the 100 people that I asked,
Yes,
probably about 60 of them said get out of here.
true,
So
true.
you have to play the numbers game.
Well, you're playing the numbers game, and this is why I wanted to go with this. Based on your experience, when you go into friends and family or business associates that are close to you, what are, if you put yourself in the mind of somebody who's looking to fund you small capital, what are they looking for in an individual so that they can make the decision to help them take their business idea from an idea to actual transaction?
I think part of it is the belief in you, belief is in your capabilities, belief in you, and also belief in your integrity. That that this one will see will play fair, and
Hmm.
when he is successful, he will return my money, and he will and I will benefit from association with this person in the sense that I'll get more money than I'm giving, and that the person is would be successful, and it's good to be on on his right side.
Hmm.
So I think those who give, they give for two three reasons. One is because they like you, that they like you, and they want to help you. It has nothing to do with the business outcome. Some people, the other think that they like you and they think this guy has good idea, and maybe it's worth taking a chance. uh, and 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 the third one is where he doesn't really know you that much, doesn't even know you very well, but he thinks that the idea is good, and he should take a chance. So regardless of what you're doing, you see, starting small, is one way to go, unless you have enough, unless you have, unless you can find someone who's willing to take a chance. And in terms of willing to take a chance, I think there are far more people in this country, uh, and the culture here of taking a chance. is
Hmm.
stronger than in other countries.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
there are, so I'm sure there are other, every state also has agencies on small business. And so I think you should uh, go to them, learn from them. You can do all these online investigations now, thanks to ChatGPT. Find out to see what kind of support exists for people who want to start a small business. Maybe it's the
So
county, maybe it's the county, maybe it's the city, maybe it's the state that has some of those agencies and stuff. And so there are opportunities.
very interesting. So there's opportunities obviously for immigrants to start small businesses. And for me, having started a small businesses, and I've really focused most of my energy and attention in the service industry. Um, I have changed my approach to when I speak to people and they say, "How do you start a business?" Usually, I'll say, "Why would you want to start a business when you can buy one?" And I say that because we are, at least in North America, we're going through this period where we have baby boomers who are retiring and their children are not interested in their businesses,
Right.
yet they own the biggest capital in the country. And so there's this huge wealth transfer that is happening now. So having um, bought and sold several businesses,
Yeah.
if you're speaking to immigrants who can figure out ways to raise capital, is buying businesses an option that you would encourage people to go after?
Yeah. That's a very good point, actually. A really, really good point. I was talking to where our office is, right next door to is a Chinese restaurant. And I was
Mhm.
talking to the guy, and he has been running that restaurant for 30 years. And I said, "What about your kids?" He says, "They're not interested in running a restaurant." So I said, "What will you do?" He says, "I don't know. I'll have to sell it sometime." So you are right. I mean, I think this thing is being repeated over and over and over again across all kinds of small businesses. But tell you what, I don't know if you have noticed this, but all beauty salons, nail
Mhm.
this thing, they're all run by Vietnamese women.
Yes.
A large number of motels are run by Indians.
Yes.
So there are these ethnic patterns in different businesses, and the reason for that is simple. When somebody new comes and they have no money, is the is you know the is this community which says, okay, what the heck, I'll give you some supplies, I'll give you this thing, and I'll loan you some money, and you can return it to me later. And that's how the community support works.
Hmm.
So another way of doing that is, if they're interested in some business, so, you can always go and get, and not always, but go to the community that you are from, the country that you are from, if there's an association or something, and then uh, you know uh, get people, you see, to get people to support you. Or another one that somebody has done, some people have done, is they start working in some of those small businesses, earn the respect and the trust, you see, of the owner.
Hmm.
And when the owner is about to retire, you say that you give it to me. I don't have money right now,
Hmm.
but guess what? I'll pay you for the next 10 years this much, so that you get this thing. You get your money back plus interest and stuff. So
Hmm.
there are strategies one could do. And uh, there are some businesses that always need people. For instance, you see, house cleaning business, car wash businesses, and there are so many of these. I mean, the home gardening thing, and there are so many of these things where you cannot eliminate human labor.
At
Now,
least not in the uh, short future.
yeah, or junk removal, things that you don't need from your house anymore. All
Hmm.
that you need is a beat up pickup truck, and some strong hands to go and pick up things from people's house and throw it. And there is money to be made in that. There is one company that runs those ad. I don't know if commercial. I don't know if you've seen that. 1-800 got junk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a every community. Every community needs that kind of junk removal service. So you don't need to
Absolutely.
go to the big one. I mean, all that if you have a small pickup truck, or if you can rent a bigger one and go print a flyer, go to any neighborhood, distribute the flyers, and say, hey, you got junk, see, to throw away. I'm the man.
What I am hearing you say is that there is endless opportunities across the globe, and there's endless opportunities in our neighborhoods, and especially in North America. And what you're saying is, if you have an idea, you identify what the opportunity is, you need to take action.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, don't let your dreams die. I think
You've of
I think there is a saying that uh, if you are determined to do something, the universe conspires to help you,
Mhm.
and it's worth taking a chance on yourself.
You've built your careers at the intersection of two worlds, um, India and Silicon Valley. How has that been an immigrant uniquely influenced way to assess risk and opportunities in startups that you've gotten involved in?
This involvement with India came much later. Before that, I was just a technology guy,
Mhm.
and the difference was that unlike most Indians, you see, who rose through the ranks of engineering and technology, I chose a path of sales and marketing, and I think I was the first. Uh, I was the first Indian VP of marketing in a Fortune 500 company.
Mhm.
Uh, Everyone else at that time, she came through a technology route. So in that sense, it's, I was a little different, but it had nothing to do with India. Only when I got involved with this organization you call TIE, TIE, we call it TIE. Only when I got involved with TIE, then you see my connection is with India is, you know, got reinvigorated. But for a long, long time, I've been involved with 32 years. I've been involved with this other organization that gives scholarships. Called Organization is called Foundation for Excellence. It gives scholarships to extremely poor kids in India who are talented enough to get accepted to a engineering school or a medical school in India, and we give them scholarship. So far, over 32 years now, almost 30,000 kids in India have become engineers and doctors thanks to this non-profit that we have run. I ran it for the first 18 years. And interestingly, that I didn't think of it at that time. I didn't know it, but it helped me later on when I became a venture capitalist, because you had to raise money from a lot of people. And because you see, I'd been raising money for scholarship for such a long time. Uh, Not every rich Indian, you see, would give me money for scholarship, but they all knew that I'm doing something good for India. So they had this impression of me that I'm doing something good. So there was a goodwill for me in the
Mhm.
community.
Mhm.
So, and then I got involved in TIE, and TIE is really about about helping people, you see, become entrepreneurs. So it's dedicated to fostering entrepreneurship. And then, say, I got involved, say, with promoting that in India. And then I got involved. Then I invited the Prime Minister of India to come here, and we had a long discussion on state of entrepreneurship in India and how that could be accelerated. And he invited me to be part of the team that was writing up the policy document for startup, what he called Startup India. And so I had the privilege of participating in a small way, but still participating in the drafting of that policy document. And uh, and that thing has been phenomenally successful in India. Uh, so it launched in January 2020, 2016, and the most important thing it did is it's educated the country that uh, that looking for job is not the only thing. You could be you could be owner of your own destiny. You can create your own destiny. You can become an entrepreneur.
For immigrants who are looking to create impact, they are looking to become business owners. If we can go back to what you said earlier, the idea of fundraising within your community, what does partnership, what role does partnership play in a community where people are looking to hold hands so that they can together work to improve and make their lives better through business ownership?
Yeah, yeah, it's a tricky thing because partnership works only when there is a only when there is a trust and respect for each other.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't, then it's also a heartbreak and a sense of betrayal and stuff. So but, but if there's a person you trust and respect, uh, and is also willing to jump into entrepreneurship to take a risk, I think is worthwhile, because even if it even if it doesn't work out, you'll learn a lot.
Obviously, you did not succeed or get to where you are or get to this podcast without having touched thousands of lives. Walk us through in the initial stages of either starting a business, acquiring one, or going to a partnership. When it comes to work value and discipline, collaboration, and choosing leaders, how did you navigate these very tight positions to become successful?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a very good question. In some in some things, partnership, uh, having a partnership is crucial rather than solo thing. So venture capital is one of those. So from day one, you see, I picked this year someone I say I'd worked with before uh, to join me, and I could not pay him much, uh, but um, but I think his participation was his participation uh, was useful to me, in the sense that, in making a critical decision, having someone to bounce your ideas off was very, very valuable. And for people who are approaching you, who are dealing with you, it also gave them a sense of assurance that it's not one person, but there are at least two people, you see, who are uh, who are working together on this. And some things, you see, it, you know it's a it's assuring, especially when it involves intellectual activities. So venture capital is very intellectual activity, where you have to make an assessment on technology, on people, and make a bet on them,
Mhm.
long-term bet on them, without without having any information other than the fact that here are the two people and this is the idea they have. Should you give them money or not? So, your instinct plays a role, but having, see, someone else to bounce your ideas off is also a good idea. So, there are those kind of things where A partnership is critical. It's expected, but then there are thousands of other businesses where solo entrepreneurs you see do very very well.
Talk about identifying leaders, people who can help you move or scale your business from one point to another.
I've seen a number of different approaches. One of my investors told me that uh, that anyone who hires, regardless of the degree or education they have, he gives them bigger and bigger responsibilities.
Hmm.
And and so one person he pointed out, who's like a, who's like a, he is a big real estate guy. He owns a lot of shopping malls and stuff, large number of them in Texas. And his and the person that who did all the work for him in dealing with my investments, he told me that she is only high school pass, but she has been with him, you see, for a long, long time. And you see, every time he had a need, you see, to every he kept giving her more and more responsibility because she was working hard, she was honest, and she was very conscientious. So, so he asked me, "How much do you think she makes?" And I said, "I don't know. She looks like a executive assistant, office manager, and stuff." I don't know. This is Texas or Dallas, right? So there maybe 100,000, maybe 150,000.
Hmm.
And he said, no, I pay her 350,000. I said, really? Why? She says, because she does everything. And because she's there, I have the peace of mind. And I know she'll give her life for me. So, but he built that up over a long period of time, that kind of a confidence, and gradually did this. The other thing he told me was that he never fires anyone. He never fires anyone. He says, I'm very, very careful who I hire. And then I work with them, you see, when their life situation, you see, is different, if they need to take long time off, if they need to do this and this, you see, I help them. And in turn, I earn their loyalty. So, these are the two models, right? And then there are, and then you see, I know people, you see, who are, uh, you know, as soon as they, as soon as they're unhappy with someone, for whatever reason, they get rid of them, and they're always looking to hire, you see, uh, you know, the best and the brightest, you see, and the most dependable, and that sort. But there are two different models, and not to say which model is better, because I've seen both the models succeed. But ultimately, it comes down to the person, what kind of a trade-off you are willing to make, and what makes you more effective.
So statistics has it that majority of businesses that start die in the first year, and a good percentage die after 2 years, five, and very few businesses are able to get to that 10-year mark.
Don't An entrepreneur never looks at statistics. Entrepreneur has to start with the conviction that I'm going to make it work. I'm going to be that 1 out of 10 that's going to survive. And there will be ups and downs, there will be challenges. But if you think that you are going to be one of the statistics,
You lost before you started.
yeah, yeah. Don't look at the strategy. You say that I'm unique. I'm one of those 10 guys who's going to be successful, and I'll show it to the world. So, yeah, statistics is fine. I think statistics just tells you uh, that, you know, there are a variety of, if you're a small start, if you're a small entrepreneur, there are huge challenges, and it could be very, very difficult. And some people give up, and maybe that is the right thing for them to do. to,
Hmm.
to not spend the rest of their life, you see, when it's not going anywhere. There is a very thin line dividing stubbornness and just the right amount of conviction needed to success.
Hmm.
And some people, you see, keep at it, you see, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, even when the market is telling them that it's time to leave. And there are and then there is some value in sticking it out and learning the lesson. I mean, start with businesses that don't require much capital, or go to businesses where people are tired, they're going to retire or something, and work there, earn their confidence, earn their respect, earn their affection, and then you see, you know, say that, hey, sell it to me. I'll give you money over a 5 year period, 3 year period, 10 year period, and so on. Or
Okay.
if you or work in businesses which doesn't require much capital, like this junk removal. All that you need is a truck.
That is true.
All that you need is a truck and one other person who is strong person, but doesn't have a job. Two people can go and remove any junk, anything you see from any house.
Talk to us about recognizing opportunity and how quickly once someone appreciates an opportunity should move or should not move.
It's a big decision for anyone you see to do this versus taking a job uh, versus versus becoming a small business kind of an owner. It's a big decision. Sometimes you have no choice. You don't have a job. You don't have a job, and and it doesn't look like you see you're going to get a job. You see in the short time. Then what the heck? Let's jump into something. What have you got to lose? And just actually, again, you see, do some online search about what kind of a small businesses exist, and there'll be thousands of them. Something that you don't even know about. You say, yeah, okay, that doesn't require much capital. That doesn't require much thing. Let me go and talk to people who are in that business. There are at least thousands of those things, and let me go talk to them and figure it out. I uh, uh, when I first came here, uh, I wanted to learn. I Before I went to college, you see, I had 3 months, 4 months. So I thought to say I should learn how to drive an 18 wheeler, and I thought I could just go because I had a driving license. I thought I could just drive an 18 wheeler.
Mhm.
So it turned out that no, you need a special training for 18 wheelers, and I wanted to do that. Uh, so I'll start driving 18 wheelers, and most people, you see, don't do anything else beyond that. I thought what I'll do is I'll start driving one, save enough money, and buy my own 18 wheeler, run it as a business, and then gradually add a second one and a third one and a fourth one. So I very seriously thought about that.
Mhm.
Now that's something that not everyone can do because first you have to be able to drive an 18 wheeler.
Yeah, but you're talking about one way of looking things, recognizing opportunity, and taking advantage of that opportunity. And the example of a 18 wheeler is just one of the thousands of opportunities that
Yes,
immigrants are coping with
exactly,
across our communities.
exactly.
So let's look at the other side of that penny, right? On your experience, what's the one startup that completely surprised you, either wildly exceeding expectations that you had or failing despite seemingly being perfect on paper? What did you learn from that experience, and what significant changes based on what you learned have you implemented in how you make decisions from that experience?
That's a tough one. I deal mostly with technology startups. Uh, so, uh, so one entrepreneur came to me and they said all these auto dealership, car dealership, they're using software for back office management that are 30, 35-year old, and it's really clunky and very hard to use and stuff. And one of the my partners thought that's a really really tough problem to solve, and for a startup it's impossible. And he said, no, 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 don't do this. He says, no, no, this, you should not be putting money on this because you know those existing vendors have 30-year relationship with these car dealers, and they are not going to change. And it's a huge amount of work. A startup would not be able to do this. So the guy went away, and and I really regretted that because I was really, really uh, impressed with how dynamic he was and his vision. So, so I got in touch with him again. I mean, within 3 months, I said, "Look, uh, that was a mistake. It was my partner's thing. I really want to invest." He said, "Okay, wait till the next one, next round, and it will be another 3 months." I said, "No, no, I want to put money now." He said, "No, no, you have to wait 3 months." I waited 3 months, and guess what?
Hmm.
The valuation went up, the amount of money that I could put went down because the other people were willing to put in. So eventually, the money that I made was 35 times less than what I could have made if I had invested when he first came to me.
Hmm.
35 times.
So you said he was a dynamic persona.
He was dynamic. Even though he had worked only for big companies till that time, I could sense the restlessness in him. I could sense the energy in him, and I could sense the vision is in him. And I wish, you see, I had not listened to my colleague and insisted that no, 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 we are going to do this. And it cost me a huge amount of money in profits, huge.
That's what we consider missed opportunity.
Yeah,
But I'm also sure it was not the first time you had a missed opportunity, and I'll bet to say that it's not going to be the last time.
yeah.
So, for those of us who are looking for investment opportunities, when people approach us because they have something that they want to invest in, what should we be looking for to be able to identify a good opportunity, knowing that opportunities are going to work both ways? It's going to make you money or you will lose money.
It's very hard to come up with a formula for that. I think part of it is uh, you you lose and learn, win and learn, but you have to be in the game. Unless you are in the game, it's just abstract. Otherwise, it's just theory. So you have to be in the game, and you will learn your own lessons. Very hard to generalize those kind of lessons. Very hard to generalize, and ultimately, each individual is unique. And
Yeah.
to figure out who to bet on is not a formula. A lot of it is comes from that you have done a lot of those, and there is some pattern that you have in your mind that you apply and see if it succeeds or not. But one thing I have found is that uh, that dealing with people, you see, who have you know uh, who have integrity makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
How transparent they are, how uh, do they do what they say, do they say what they do, uh, and in terms of dealing with those kind of people, I think it's important to have people that you you can instinctively instinctively trust.
When you talk about integrity being a big player in how you're able to fundraise and actually take your ideas from idea to seed, how do you get to a point where you grow something big enough that way it helps a large group of people? And is that even necessary to do that, or is it also a good idea for certain businesses to stay small?
Yeah, yeah. I think you know, small businesses could small business could continue to be profitable. So it doesn't need to become very big. I mean, there are lots and lots of millionaires in this country who run small businesses, and and why not? I mean, I think they some are auto parts dealers, some are auto repairers, some run a plumbing company, some run is a you know a, a gardening service, some run is here, all kinds of things, right? So yeah, you could stay small, you could grow that business, but you don't have to have 100 100 shops or 100 this thing outfits, you see, in order to be successful. It all depends on individual what it is that they ultimately, I mean, take it step by step. If you have nothing, get something that works, that's profitable, that gives you this thing, and then figure out, you see, what the next step is. But but make something going, get something going first, make it successful. Then you can always hire people to tell you, to do the analysis for you and stuff, and listen to them, and then decide whether it's worth your while or not.
People say, and you hear this term in business circles quite often, your network is your net worth. What is the power of networking, and why should
Yes.
ambitious immigrants focus on building relationships that matter?
As I said that you know the reason that all the motel business is owned by Indians is the network. When I first came here, I was driving an ice cream truck in the neighborhood,
That's
and
unbelievable.
you know what the brilliant was?
Yeah.
I didn't have I didn't have to put a penny. I just showed up at this place. They gave me a truck full of ice creams, and it was it was fully loaded with gas. They just gave me the key and says, "Okay, this is the route. You can take this route and sell the ice cream." At the end of the day, I sold ice cream, came back, and then I had to pay for gas, and I had to pay for the ice cream that I sold. But the difference I kept myself, and it didn't require a single penny of initial investment from my pocket.
Hmm.
And guess what? Everyone there was Persian. So community, the network and stuff, you see, makes a huge difference to get started. I mean, like I told you about how every nail salon, 90% of the beauty salons are owned by Vietnamese women, and all because of the network. If somebody wants to start, they go to someone and say, "Oh yeah, she has some used equipment. That woman, you see, she's shutting it down. Take that," and somebody gives you money and stuff, and then you get started, and somebody trains you. So yeah, I mean, uh, there is a benefit in that. But networking for the sake of networking is not very useful of use of your time.
Hmm.
It's not very useful uh, thing. I think getting involved in meaningful activities with others builds much better relationships.
You've obviously raised capital and deployed capital in some of the toughest markets in North America. How has that investment landscape changed to for seed stage startups in the last 5 years? And when you sit down and you look into the future, what does that mean for immigrants, and what does the future look like when it comes to seed startup?
I think it changes. I think the fact the stock market has not been uh, the last 2 3 years. This year has been good, but last 2 3 years it was not very good. Uh, so uh, so it was so from that standpoint, it was tough and challenging to raise money. Uh, and still tough and challenging uh, because people have not been able to return the money to investors in last 3 years. Uh, so there are the ups and downs and there are ebbs and flows. It was very easy to raise money in 2021 because there were a lot of companies going public, a lot of mergers and acquisitions taking place. Yeah, the valuation was very high, so it was easy at that time. So it changes. It changes, but in venture capital, what happens is that we play a very long game. Today we are giving some a company some money. It could take as long as 10 years uh, for it to deliver something.
Hmm.
And you need the investors, you see, who have the patience, who don't bug you every now and then, say, "Hey, when I'm getting my money back, when I'm getting my money back." So so I think that's always a challenge. I mean, when you're raising money, you're not asking them what kind of people they are. You are just happy to take their money. Uh, but later on, it turns out that some people are better kind of investors than others. And but that's what you learn, you see, along the time. You don't know in the beginning what kind of investors they would be. Would they be bugging you every now and then, saying, "Hey, where's my money? When are you getting back? And what the heck are you doing?" and stuff. So you deal with both kind of people.
Let's talk about since we're still on the money subject. Let's talk about raising capital. What's the uncomfortable truth about raising capital that most founders don't want to hear? What would it be?
Dealing with rejection, having a thick skin
Yes.
to deal with rejection, and the only way to handle that is to play the numbers game. You know, uh, if you're approaching 100 people, assume that 90 of them or 80 of them are going to say no to you, and it should not really, it's, as a human being, it's very hard not to get disappointed or sad, you see, with the rejection. It's very hard
Mhm.
not to. But keeping that thing in mind, the long term thing in mind, that uh, that this is part of the game. And you see the documentaries. It's in the wildlife documentaries, and you find that the cheetah or the leopard keeps attacking. He's not successful every time. In fact, you see, most time he is unsuccessful. So just keeping that in mind, that that this is part of the game. That disappointment and getting rejected is part of the game, and you have to play the game. Uh, you have to play the game. There's no shortcuts. So first of all, I think having, uh, you know, being able to pull yourself together after every rejection and meet every new one, you see, with the same sense of hope and conviction and optimism is very hard to do. But you got to master that.
You talked about, or you threw out the word stock market here not too long ago. When immigrants migrate, we tend to go very slow in how we invest into our future. Yet we know playing the investment games take a really long time. Talk to us about our approach into the stock market. How should immigrants approach the stock market?
My first distinct advice would be that you invest in yourself. invest in your own business first. And only when you have enough surplus cash, then you start playing in the stock market.
Hmm.
And there are a number of different approaches to stock market. One is the safe approach, which is you invest in an index fund. You'll never lose all your money, but you'll never make too much money. You will just grow with the market.
Hmm.
And then there are and then there is a approach which says stock picking. I know about this company. I had dealt with this company. I was very, very pleased with how they treated the customer, how did they treated this and this. So I'm going to put some money on this company because I know where they're going. Because I'm very happy with the way they're treating customers, they're treating people, and I think they would be successful. So anyone who put money in what is that burger chain, the small burger chain called in LA, one two, what is that thing called? It's not McDonald's, but they had massive loyalty. People would line up to see this thing, and when they came to Northern California, when they opened the first one, boy, the line was long because everybody wanted to see what was it about them that made them that customers waited long line to eat their burgers.
Hmm.
So if you have some of those, if you know some of those kind of things, invest in them. But before you start investing in this thing, I think invest in yourself, invest in your own business.
We talk about investing in ourselves and investing in our business. How about the knowledge base?
That's what I'm saying, investing in yourself, right? There are one thing that's one thing that has happened, you see, with technology is that knowledge is available everywhere now and available very cheap. All kinds of videos are available on YouTube about how to do this and how to do that.
Hmm.
You can go to ChatGPT and ask any question, and they'll give you answers and they'll give you links to further this thing. So yeah, I think uh, ability to enhance your knowledge and ability to get up to speed quickly is never been easier than it is now. You don't need to know experts personally to learn. Now you can get all that information online.
Let's talk about something that you do very well: identifying investors who have very good returns and then being able to invest in those investors. If I have not had the opportunity to look at how to invest in somebody else, what are some of the qualities that generally across the board that tells you a certain business would be a great investment or an individual would be a great investment to invest in?
Again, I say it's very hard to generalize because in technology things move very quickly. But in terms of people, what I look for is does this person have a track record of previous success in whatever they did? Uh, if they have been in whatever domain they are, in whatever situation they were in, where they would you would you classify what they did as a success in their peer group? How did they do compared to others in their peer group, in college, in school, in business, in companies? How did they do compared to others in the same group? So, and all the other people, did they look upon them with respect? Uh, did the people, is he want to work with this person, or every time it's a new set of people, is he that he worked with? The other thing is that the other thing I look for is of course, is it what do other people say about him in terms of personal reference, in terms of integrity, in terms of ability to get along with the person, in terms of his ability to inspire and deliver results. So I look for that. The other thing I look for is domain expertise. Whatever problem he's trying to solve, for which he needs money, does he know anything about that? If you have been, if you have been in technology all your life, and now you want to solve some doctor's problem, I'll say, wait a minute, a hospital's problem. I say, wait a minute, what do you know about that? You haven't paid your dues, So if you have worked in that industry for 5 years, and now you're saying, hey, I know that there is a problem here. I can fix it. Give me money. So I look for domain expertise, I look for personal character, and I look for track record of success in whatever environment he was there before. So those are the three things I look for.
If we can have a conversation about the trends, the globe, in this day and age, for immigrants who are looking to change their world dramatically, what some of the global trends that we should be aware of right now?
The biggest, uh, I think the big trends are that the knowledge is available uh, very freely, that the cost of communication has come down to zero all over the world. That when I first came to this country, if I had to call India, I had to pay $2.50 per minute. Now, thanks to WhatsApp and all these things, is free.
Mhm.
I can I can call anywhere in the world and talk for as long as I want to, and I don't have to pay a penny. That's a huge thing. So cost of communication is down, cost of computing is down a lot. I think on your phone you can do a lot. That's something you can do. My phone now has more power than $1 million mainframe computer that I dealt with when I was in college. This one phone has more power than that. So that thing is down. Knowledge is free. It's available everywhere, and there are, and yet uh, white collar workers in general, you see, are under threat. You see, from artificial intelligence. But there are some kind of businesses that technology cannot touch, and we discuss some of those things. And it's very important to take a long term view. I think if you can generate, if you can be in a profitable business and gradually accumulate profit over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you could be very rich at the end of it.
That sounds like a really long time. So,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and,
yeah. No,
and,
I
and
think,
I say this because it's really, really important for immigrants to understand that life, and especially business, is not a 100-meter dash. It's a marathon. It takes a really long time to get from one point to another. But we start life behind others. We're migrating to the US in our 20s, in our 30s, the majority of us, some of us a little bit later. And so you're behind. You're behind because you have responsibilities not to the country you've migrated to, but the country you have migrated from. Having all these things in the back of our pockets, why is it necessary for us to understand that to be able to achieve your ultimate goal, it takes a really long time of hard work and discipline?
yeah, yeah, yeah. By the way, one advantage you have being an immigrant that local people don't have is hunger.
Hmm.
And you have no safety net behind. You don't have rich parents that if something fails, you can go and live with them or you can borrow money from them. You are you have no safety net. You have to succeed. You see, in an environment that you know very little about, and but you have the hunger. You have more. You are willing to work harder. You are willing to work longer. You're willing to take a lot more struggle than any local person would do. Those are the things you should bet on.
You've spent 26 years supporting underprivileged students through the Foundation for Excellence. How has that work influenced the way you think about equity and access in the startup world?
Ah, okay. I've not, I've not done any sort of cross, uh, you know, pollination of those things. Because the kids that I support are in India, and most of them stay in India. Uh, so I've not had
Mhm.
this experience this year of having to sort of cross pollinate or do those kind of experiments this year about entrepreneurship. The reason I do that
Mhm.
is that by itself gives me satisfaction. The reason I do that is because it makes me feel good about myself, that I'm helping someone accomplish their dreams. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money. Strangely, all that it costs is to put a kid, you see, through best engineering college or best medical college in India. It costs only $700 a year. That's if you pay for coffee, if you go to Starbucks and pay for coffee, uh, that's what it's like. You know, one coffee less. Yeah, yeah.
$7, $8
So
now.
it's like one coffee. See, you miss one coffee every third day, and you can change a kid's life, not just kids, the entire family's life. Because what we have seen is that the kid, is when he becomes an engineer, in the very first year, he's making more money than his parents as he would in 10 years. And the first thing he does is he pulls his family out of poverty. He builds a house for them, buys a house for them, sends his younger brothers and sisters to college. Uh, so, so you're giving one kid to see some money to become engineer or doctor, lifts the entire family out of poverty and forever. And that's a you know that, that has satisfaction by itself.
Vank, thank you. Thank you for making the time to come to the Immigrant Nation Pod. We really, truly, truly appreciate you being here with us and spending the hour with us. I cannot wait for when we come back again. I think we have a lot to talk about, and this has been a very powerful episode. It is a wrap for us for today. Vank, please tell our listeners where they can find you on social media.
Well, I'm very active on LinkedIn, uh, and somewhat active on Facebook. I'm not active on TikTok at all or Instagram, but I'm active on Twitter, which is X. So on X, my handle is at V Shukla. V as in Victor, Shukl. There's no A after that. At V Shukla. That's my Twitter handle. And Facebook, you can find me. So, not very active on social media, but I do once in a while. I feel strongly about something, I do write.
Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, immigrants across the globe, that is Ed Shukli on X. And obviously, you can find Van at LinkedIn, where he is a little bit active. Van, thank you so much for making the time for us. And this is a wrap. This episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Medical Group of Companies, providing compassionate, non-emergency medical transport across the state of Texas and Florida. You can find them at www.medicaltrans.com. If today's conversation moved you, follow us and join the movement on social media at TikTok and Instagram at Immigrant Nation, at Facebook it's at the Immigrant Nation Podcast, LinkedIn and YouTube it's the Immigrant Nation Pod. Do not forget to subscribe and share. And for those who want to follow Vank, we will put your handles into our channel. Sir, thank you very much for making the time for us. When is the next time we get to talk to you again?
Yeah, let's work on that. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you and we wish you the very best.